Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a great day. Today I get to share with you a few projects using the Glimmer Hot Foil system. Today I'm going to be using some glimmer plates by Becca Feeken, and they are gorgeous. This here is called the Elegant Foil Seals. It's a 4-piece set, and it does come with coordinating dies that will cut out each one of those seals. It has sentiments on there like handmade with love and thank you, and then 2 of them are decorative. So pretty. On the reverse side, there's some wonderful inspiration too. That's what I love about the Spellbinders packaging. So we'll be using this one. Also, we're going to be using the Place Card Mini Topper Glimmer Plate. This is also by Becca Feeken, and it's just gorgeous. It creates beautiful place cards or mini treat bag toppers. I'm going to be using it on a card to show you the versatility that you could use with the glimmer plates. For today's project, I'm going to be using some Copper Glimmer Foil. It's a beautiful chocolatey color. I really like this foil. It's going to go great with my pattern papers that we're going to be using for our projects today. Although it does come with beautiful variety of colors, I decided to go with the copper here. Everything that I use today will be linked down below in the description area in case you guys are interested. So we're going to take these out of the package, and then we are going to grab our Glimmer Hot Foil system. And if you do not know anything about the Glimmer Hot Foil system, I'll link it up above the unboxing. It's a wonderful system that foils, and it will the unboxing kind of shows you how to use it. But this is the system here. We're going to set it our cooling plate aside. We're going to turn on that power button. There's actually 3 buttons on there. One's a power indicator, one shows that your platform's ready, and then one is a timer button. We're going to start off by placing our plate on our platform face up. Then we're going to take a piece of our foiling, put that face down. We're going to use pattern paper to foil on today, so I added that. Now, since it is pattern paper, it's a little bit thinner than regular cardstock, so I added a couple pieces of paper. I folded it in half to create a paper shim. To build your sandwich, you use the shim plate and then the top plate. Then you press the timer button. Once the timer button goes off, you can run that through your Platinum 6. And I do it slowly, and then I go forward and back to make sure that there's an even transfer. And then I'm going to put it back in the docking station because we're going to do a little bit more foiling. We'll remove that with our tweezers. And then we just lift off the foiling, and you have a beautiful thank you foil seal. Love the way that looks. We're going to do one more seal, so we'll place it face up on our platform here. We'll add our foil. When you add the foil, you always add it pretty side down. So glimmer plate, foil, glimmer plate up, foil, pretty side down. For this, we're going to use some polka dot pattern paper. We'll just place that on top. Then we'll add our paper shim, our plastic shim, and then our top plate, and we'll press that timer button. Once the timer button stops flashing, it's ready to remove from the docking station. You just slide that through your Platinum 6. And again, I go forward and back a few times to make sure that there's even transfer. Easy peasy. We're going to do a little more foiling, so I'm placing it back in the docking station, making sure it's connected. That way my platform stays hot. Next, we're going to grab our Place Card Mini Topper pieces. This is a 2-piece set. I'm going to place one on the top and one on the bottom. And I'm using the grid lines on my glimmer platform here to make sure everything's straight. But that's our second foil seal. Isn't it so gorgeous? Whenever you do use your foiling, you want to make sure that you trim it down as close as you can to the size of the glimmer plate. This way it avoids excess foiling on your cardstock or your whatever item you're foiling on. It's not only great for paper, but you can foil ribbon, you can foil canvas, chipboard. Very versatile machine. Place my foil face side down, just making sure these are nice and evenly spaced. We'll add our pattern paper. And again, using the grid lines on our platform here, we'll add our paper shim. And depending on the thickness of your pattern paper is on the thickness you'll use with your paper shim. but I did add my plastic shim in my top plate here. Once the light stops blinking, we're ready to run that through our die cut machine. Super easy to foil. Now I did speed the video up a little bit. It does take about a minute for it to stop flashing your timer light, but it makes creating projects super easy. We're going to do one more, so I'm going to add one more piece of foiling. This time we're using another piece of pattern paper. We'll add our paper shim, our plastic shim, and our top plate, and press that timer. We just remove the foil from your pattern paper and you have a beautiful foiling. Now there's little excess pieces, but no worries because it comes up beautifully. We'll run this through one more time, forward and then back. And then that's all the foiling that we're going to do with our Glimmer hot foil system. We'll just remove the plates, picking them up with the tweezers and placing them on our cooling mat. I'm going to turn off the power button and we'll just add our sandwich over here along with our cooling mat and set this aside. The machine itself is super lightweight and it's perfect size for your craft desk also. But this is our second foiling and there's a little excess on this one too. But I just take a sand eraser and go around where the excess areas are and it comes up beautifully. On cardstock, pattern paper, very easy to remove that excess. And this die here has intricate lines on it too, and it came up beautifully in between the lines. So that's what we're going to use for our projects today. Now I'm going to take the quarter. There's two dies. I'm going to use the decorative one. We are going to actually do a little die cutting, so I'm placing this place card topper over my foiled image. We're going to secure it with some tape. Now when you secure it, you want to make sure that your tape is not hitting the foil because you don't want that foil to lift up when you lift up the tape. So just add tape to your die. We're going to run this through our Platinum 6. And I had to adjust it just a little bit, but once we ran it through, I think that looks beautiful. I'm going to take my tool in one, just take out those extra pieces. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more die cutting, this time using the foil seals here. We'll tape this down and run this through our die cut machine. I'm going to add one more piece of tape here. So pretty. Once everything's die cut, I'm going to bring in a few dies that I have in my stash. These are from Spellbinders. These are the blossom tags and accents. They'll be listed below for you in case you're interested. But starting with the largest blossom tag, I'm going to cut out a scalloped circle with pattern paper. And then using the smaller one, I'm going to cut this out with white cardstock. Once everything is die cut, we're ready to assemble our first project. So for card number 1, we're going to make a thank you card. We're going to start off by adding some foam squares behind our elegant foil seal here. I'm going to place this directly on my white scalloped accent piece here. We'll tape this down to our pattern paper. Lovely. Okay, for my background we're going to use some more pattern paper, but I'm going to use my paper trimmer to trim it down a little bit. And I did want to use the top piece of the pattern paper. I'm just going to trim off that harsh line, but we're going to cover up that hole there with our thank you. For my card base today, it's an A2 size. It's a top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. I'm just taping down my pattern paper. We're going to place it all the way to the left of our card. Any excess overhanging we're going to trim off with our scissors. Lovely. Okay, we are going to add some foam tape behind our thank you. Give this card a little bit more dimension. We'll remove the release paper and add that. We're going to offset it a little bit on the left hand side, and we'll just trim the excess off here. Now I wanted to fancy it up a little bit, so I have some paper flowers. These are from my stash. I'm just going to glue them down right next to my thank you sentiment, and that finishes off card number 1. Super easy to do. Here's some close-ups for you, but that gold foiling is just gorgeous. Okay, for card number 2, we're going to use the place card mini topper here. I'm actually going to create a card with this, so I'm going to trim off the excess, and I'm also going to trim off the corners too. Lovely. We're going to add some foam squares behind our elegant foil seal. For this card, we're just going to make a note card. We're not going to add any sentiment. I thought it'd be great to have on in your stash for just because whenever you need a card. I have another piece of pattern paper that's slightly smaller than my card base. I added that to the front there. We're going to go ahead and tape down our foiling. Place it right in the center. Now before we add our foil seal, I wanted to add some ribbon. This is some gold ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow in the center. Tie a bow to the left. We're going to place our ribbon in the center. This way we can add our gold elegant foil seal. I keep saying gold, but it's copper. Right in the center. We're going to adjust our little bow. And then finally, for a little bit of shimmer, we're going to add 1 gold gem right in the center of our flowers. And I think this makes a very beautiful note card. Great for any occasion. Or just because card. Here's some close-ups. I hope the close-ups are capturing that beautiful shimmer. Okay, now we get the fun part of making a little treat bag. There are score lines on the mini topper here. I just folded it in half. Next, I have a little cookie bag. This is just a cello bag that you can fill with any kind of treats you want. This here would actually make a great wedding favor gift. I'm using some double-sided tape on the inside. I think this tape was a little too wide, so I'm going to grab a thinner piece. Using my tool-in-one, we'll remove the release paper. And this will make a great place card holder too. You just write the person's name on there, and it makes it super elegant and super easy, my goodness. Just for something different, I decided to cut off the corners of my mini topper here. Next, we're going to add a little bag. Now, my cello bag here was a little bit too wide for my treat topper. So I'm kind of squinching it, making sure it fits inside my mini topper. And then I just close it over, and it creates a beautiful foil accent mini topper for your treat bag. I'm going to doctor it up a little bit more with a gold bow. Just going to tie a bow and trim off the tails. And originally I was going to place it off to the left, but I decided it was covering that beautiful effect that's on the top of my treat topper, so I decided to adjust it and put it in the middle. This way I wasn't covering up that flourish on the top. I did add a paper flower along with a paper leaf, and that finishes off my treat bag. So easy and peasy. So these are the 3 projects I made from the Glimmer Plates by Becca Feeken, and they are just gorgeous. Again, I encourage you to check them out. They are a fantastic collection. At the end here of the video, I'll leave a link to the unboxing and a few more projects used with the Glimmer Hot Foil system. But thanks so much for stopping by. I wish you a fantastic day, and we will see you again soon.